Avengers, the video game, Marvel's
Marvel's
Avengers.
Avengers.
It has come out after a long period of time where we were quite confused at what this game was going to be. We got the trailer at like 2014. I remember the reaction because we were still in the orange room, and we heard
It wasn't
nothing.
2014 because the channel wasn't started yet.
Okay,
It was like 2017.
okay, maybe a 27. Okay, that's
Yeah.
my mistake. But I remember we was in the orange room watching the trailer, and it was like, well, that's it. Okay, and we got nothing until E3 2019 during Square Enix press conference, and we looked at the game. We were like, okay. I mean, my reaction was much more hopeful than your reaction to it. I know you say you were very skeptical about it,
I was.
and I was a little bit more hopeful. I was like, I think it will be fun, and then we started looking, started getting more trailers of the game, and so I was like, okay, this is looking worse and worse. And then we finally got the war table where the game looked. They showed more of the game capabilities, and I was like, okay, this looks a lot more fun. Now, I did a stream on it. You guys could watch the stream on Nerd Coalition Level Up, so make sure you subscribe to that and watch the streams. I finished it yesterday, so I'm ready for this review. I don't know about you. Where did you get in the story?
Okay, so
By the way, this will be
I
spoilers.
huh?
There will be spoilers. I just want to
Oh,
throw
there
the
will be
spoilers.
spoilers, and I don't care because here's the thing: it's I kind of got spoiled, but I'm missing a part of the sandwich.
Okay, gotcha.
I already know who Ty Dancer is, and I'm already at her board.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I just finished the Black Widow board.
Tiny Dancer was too obvious.
What was it ever? I was like,
Tiny, I was like,
well,
really?
here's Natasha. So
You're
I
right.
was like, and then I got to the last board where because I was like, I'm going to support your stream,
Uh-huh. Oh,
and I
thank you.
watched
Oh, thanks for watching.
absolutely, and I had the same face you did when I see the final boss, and I was like,
Like,
huh,
oh, okay.
okay, well, and so the only thing is how Thor and Cap came back because I knew Cap was coming back anyway.
Right.
And so how we got to Thor is what I did not see, and that's the only thing I missed. But everything else, from gameplay to all them boards and everything, I have an opinion that is worth it because I'm not saying I just just talking just to talk. I'm serious.
Okay, so let's start on the story of this game. The story starts off during A Day, which is an Avengers day where they celebrate who the Avengers are, and pretty much like that. And we start off as Camilla Khan, which for people who do not know her, she is actually Miss Marvel in the comic books, and she's a huge fan of Avengers, almost like way too fanboy at a point.
Man, you know what? I couldn't tell.
She is way too fanboy at the point, and she's getting to meet each Avenger and all that. During that time, Taskmaster comes in and just starts completely wrecking the city, and then the Avengers got to go to work. However, the Avengers displayed this I forget what it's called, the Tyrogen reactor, which
Yeah,
was not ready.
Tyrogen.
Tyrogen reactor, which was not ready to go out for display against the world. However, that did so much damage to not only the city, but to the society of this world because people started getting powers, creating the Inhumans. Um, and now the Avengers has been disbanded, and Kamala Khan, seeing a threat that's going on, she wants to get the Avengers back together so they can stop this threat. That's pretty much the story in a nutshell. So I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna talk about the story characters. Camilla Khan. Now I picked up the first issue of Miss Marvel when it came out, so I'm very familiar with Camilla Khan. The way they portrayed her is equivalent to Peter Parker in the MCU.
Yes.
They dramatically forget the roots of what makes this character, and highlights that the Avengers is the core reason of why she is who she is. I feel like that completely missed the mark on that.
I don't think. I mean, do you think her culture was brought in enough?
Not at all.
Exactly, I agree.
Not at all. Especially because Abu in the comic books, Abu was a seriously important character. She was literally Kamala's mentor. Anytime she needed to vent, anytime she needed advice, Abu was right there. And we only had that one scene with him on the phone, not knowing she was on the phone, and that was it. I was like, you literally took out Uncle Ben from Peter Parker. That's exactly how I felt, and I was like, y'all missed the mark. And also, her core motivation for being a hero was strictly Captain Marvel instead of the Avengers, which I personally didn't mind. But if you're gonna call her Miss Marvel, at least throw some Captain Marvel in there.
Yes, I agree with you.
The performance was pretty good. I'm not gonna go too hard on the performance. However, in the beginning, it was like you're annoying. You are an annoying fanboy at this point. But I grew to like her as the story went on. The next one, Hulk. Hulk, I actually love Troy Baker's performance for Bruce Banner. I really liked it. It definitely grew on me over time. Especially with Troy Baker's verse. He was just like calm and collected, trying to get everything together. Hulk as a character was very forced, I would say. I think that's the best word I could say for Hulk. I just felt like he was forced into certain situations.
I wouldn't say forced. I would say more of a default.
Okay, yeah, that's the better word. That's the better word.
In certain situations, and it was more of that. Okay, every Avengers story needs an Avenger to blame. He was the one that got that part in this story.
I disagree. I think Tony got more to blame.
But Tony always get the blame. I'm like, can't we blame somebody?
But no, that's the thing. And like this, and I started siding with Tony in this story because I'm like, yo, it's like, especially with Thor and Tony's like disputes. Thor was literally bringing on, like, this is your weapons. He's like, yo, this was the old me. I'm different now. Why can't anyone see this? And I was like, thank you. Like, he's trying his best to work hard. And Thor was like, yo, these are your weapons. You shouldn't be having them. He was like, yo, how was I supposed to know they were going to steal it? This is technically not my fault. They got to my tech that I made years ago. So, since we brought up Tony, Nolan North is God. I couldn't get him as Tony. I couldn't at all. He was a very PG Deadpool when he was voicing Tony Stark.
First of all, I want to say just right now, Nolan North is great at what he does.
He is. But every role isn't for everyone.
Exactly, but no, it's just because Nolan North is good at wisecracking and being Nathan Drake and Deadpool, don't necessarily mean he's good at being Tony Stark.
Right. Now, there were certain lines where it was executed correctly, I feel like, and that was more shown in the last half of the story. And there was one scene with Tony and Captain America, which was like, it was very serious. And I like that. I was like, we got more of a, I would say, we dive deeper into the characters in this. Natasha was fine. I can't really say anything about her. A lot of these, like, I'll go with Natasha and Thor. I can't really say much about them because most of their experience with me was more in their combat. But I'll get to the combat in a minute. But back into the story. The story was way too short. This story was way too short. And
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, this story was way too short. And I feel like this could have benefited with a lot more. One, a lot more villains. You have like some of the most well-known superheroes in the universe. And we saw a total of 3 villains that we fought throughout this whole game, which was shocking to me. What it was Taskmaster. After we saw Taskmaster, gone. Abomination came out of nowhere. In fact, if you didn't even know who Abomination was, you probably just like, what is this mutant right here?
Mm-hmm.
And after that, gone. And then MODOK, which was like, really? It like, I'm still shocked they chose him out of all characters. I thought he was okay, so I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna hit him I'm not gonna bash him too hard. But this story definitely could have worked if they took like a good 6 hours out of this game, and this game is only 8 hours long.
Mm-hmm.
This game was only 8 hours, so it felt like a movie length, and I feel like for
I think
game,
it's that length because we got DLC coming out.
I hate when games sacrifice the story just because they got DLC coming.
I agree with you,
and you could have done a lot more, especially with the Avengers as a team, because I feel like because the story was so short, they weren't as fleshed out. We didn't really Kamala got her powers off screen. You literally jump into the game and was like, oh, she has powers now? I literally hopped in. I was like, they're not going to explain. Like, I would have loved to see her first reaction to having, finding out she's inhuman and all that. Like, again, the relationship with the Avengers, all we had was them bickering at each other. Not really, wisecracking jokes until, like, the last fight of the game. So I feel like this game could have benefited with a lot more time. And the fact we're going to get DLC, it's just going to add more characters to the story. I feel like that's taken away from the core Avengers. So I was disappointed in that, knowing that the story was so short. The story is just a typical. I wouldn't say it's bad, but I wouldn't say it's good either. It's very basic. It's something you would definitely like. I feel like this would be like an animated series type of story, in my opinion. When I was
to be honest with you, I was not a fan of the story,
and
I know that's going to rub a lot of people the wrong way.
No, because a lot of people are saying that.
And here's my reason, and you heard me say this before. I do not like the Inhumans.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the comics. I'm not a fan of the human characters. I'm not a fan of the premise. I'm not a fan of the Terrigen Mist. I'm not a fan of any of that crap. And one thing I hate when they do it in Inhumans, because you could tell this video game was in production before Marvel bought Fox.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I was going to bring that up.
And I'm like, I hate when they try to turn Inhumans and they give them this mutant storyline. And I'm like, it don't fit.
Right.
It don't fit because I was like, the mutants were made one way. And this was their way of saying, well, this is our MCU mutants. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's basically you're doing a redundant story. There is a lot of good X-Men / Avengers stories out there that they could have did if they were allowed to use X-Men or just that property. But when they bring in this, I understand they want to do the whole Kamala Khan thing, which I do like, because at first I wasn't sold on her at first, and there was some annoying parts in the story to the point I was just like, yeah, you're right. I didn't read the Miss Marvel comics, but what I'm saying, I skimmed through the different things and reading the backstory. I'm just like, man, girl's missing a lot.
Right.
She's missing a lot, and I'm just not a fan of the fanboy fangirl storyline. With this, because I felt as though that they sacrificed Hawkeye for her, which I didn't mind having somebody young and a person of color. Let's just be real here,
right?
And a woman being the lead of the story. But I'm like, y'all made her such a block. So y'all made her so one dimensional and naive and gullible to the point I'm like, can we have a strong woman lead? In my personal opinion, and then you heard me when I said it in the trailer. I'm like, MODOK. Don't nobody care about MODOK. Don't nobody care about Krang from Ninja Turtles. That's the Marvel equivalent to Krang from Ninja Turtles.
Right.
And I'm telling you, Okay, so if you're familiar with Ninja Turtles, you know Krang
Yep.
is that brain thing, and he gets inside the stomach of that big giant robot.
Yep.
Did that? And when it happened at the end, I said, "Well, what did I say?
Yep.
What did I say?" And I was just like, "What? Modok not even a threat like that for them." And I'm like, as soon as I see him as the main antagonist in the story, I was just like, "Okay, I want to hashtag give it a chance," but
Yep.
this. And then the whole AIM thing, and I was just like, this is trying to tell a mutant storyline without having mutants, and I don't like it.
Yeah, that's another thing. They push the Inhumans. Well, don't push the Inhumans and only show one. Or sorry,
Exactly.
don't push the
There's
Inhumans
many
and
more.
mainline one. Like, you didn't even mainline the biggest Inhumans in the series. Like, you had Black Bolt, Medusa, all those other Inhumans, and your focus was on Camilla Khan. And then looking at the leaked like DLC character list, she's the only Inhuman.
And
She's the
exactly, I'm
only
like,
one. Which was like, what was the whole, like, it just completely throws everything out of whack.
and first of all, look at the list. If you were going to have this many MCU characters,
Mm-hmm.
just make the MCU game.
Right, right.
You know, if it's redundant, fine. But I'm just like, but if you're gonna try and do another story, and to the point where you're introducing new characters to like the MCU, well then go all the way and introduce new characters.
Right, and I would have loved that, like, playing the first Avengers, and then the next DLC will be Age of Ultron, and then the next DLC would be, like, the next, like, MCU movie
Yeah,
tie-in. And I would like that, but this real, it was just like, y'all really made Inhumans to be, like, the forefront of this game. But, one, you barely used them. Two, we barely fought them. Because I'm sure there's Inhumans out there that disagree with the Avengers. And we fought none of them. So all the Inhumans are good. Which is
if
like,
I fight another Tony Stark style robot
bro.
or a Connect style robot,
And
I'm gonna lose my shit.
what got me upset, you saw the end of the stream, they damn near stole Sentinels.
Yes,
And I was like, are y'all serious right now? I'm like, wait, so it was like no originality went into this. Y'all literally just ripped off X-Men.
I hate when they do the X-Men storyline and y'all do it with the Inhumans. But see, now here's the point: the X-Men story, whether you like it or not, is based on civil rights movement. So, what do they hate? They hate that this miss that got out by the Avengers is the miss that affected your country, your people, and now you're telling me that you're going to arrest these Inhumans?
Right.
It makes no sense. It makes the Avengers is the problem. Okay, so they all broke up, and then now everybody's like, "Oh my God, you're an Inhuman." You would think, by the way it happened, that you want to help these people, but
Right.
now you're just trying to have an excuse because mutants were born that way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's what the problem was. They were born that way. That's where the hatred and the prejudice and saying and the racism and all that stuff comes from, because they were born that way. They had no choice of being that way. These people were in an accident. These are bang babes from Static Shock.
Yep. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm like, so where's all this hate and all this stuff coming from? And all the things that you're saying,
They're literally
is
victims.
lining up with X-Men. It's not making no sense.
Yeah, they're literally victims, and y'all just made a point to to, like, antagonize them.
Yeah.
And so I was upset with that. What else was the story other than being too short? Okay, no, there was a weird point in the story where, excuse me, you're doing a bunch of story missions, and then out of nowhere they said, okay, you have to do a side mission before you get to the last mission. It was like, it threw it off. It threw the pacing off. Where, like, example, Spider-Man, you had, like, sections where it'd be like, hey, go free roam. He'll be like, okay, yeah. MJ's working on this right now. Let me just roam around the city to see who needs help. That's that's good pacing. Whereas this is like story. We're at the end, but do a little free mode right here. And it was like, okay, why? You literally dropped the ball to find this one item from a specific like villain type, where you didn't even really give names of the villain types throughout the whole story. So this, I feel like, look, one, this game could use a lot more polish. I'll get deeper into that as we talk about like the combat and stuff. Um, the story overall, it get to catch it at the barbershop. It was just like, okay, this is it.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Now the combat. One thing I really like about the combat is that each character plays differently. I do like that a lot. Iron Man plays completely different from Black Widow. Captain America plays completely different from Thor. So I like that they made each character original. With that being said, the hand-to-hand melee fighters work a lot better in this game than the flying range characters or the brute characters. So Black Widow plays fantastic. Captain America plays fantastic. Captain America is my favorite gameplay style throughout the game. My second one is Iron Man. I feel like they work those characters very well. However, we've seen them done better, and I feel like that was the issue I also had. Because oh, sorry, what was that?
No, go ahead. Because I kind of almost disagree with you in a sense. And this is what I mean by that is because you said every character plays different, correct?
Right.
And you are right, but I disagree with you in the sense that, in my opinion, they do kind of play the same. And this is what I mean by that.
Mm-hmm.
Is because you have one heroic ability, you have your R1 trigger, and then you have your L1 trigger, right?
Mm-hmm.
Each of them have a light melee attack and a strong melee attack. If you hold down triangle long enough, it's like, okay, this is the shield breaker.
Right.
And then if you do the melee attack, it's always a 3-hit combo. And then if you run, it's the same. I'm going to tell you right, other than Iron Man, who clearly flies, unless you activate him to fly, or he will run too.
Right.
Now, come from a guy that has played Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3,
mm-hmm.
where it's like, okay, you got to bring some character traits into these superheroes, such as, I don't think my health should go down the same as Kamala Khan's when I'm the Hulk.
Yeah,
I'm
I
the
agree
Hulk.
with that. Yeah.
I think on foot, Cap is the fastest person that should be on this team.
And I said that when I was playing the game. I think I was like, I feel like Captain America should run a lot faster than he is running right now.
Because he's on foot. When it comes to like stealth, that should be Black Widow's specialty.
Mm-hmm.
Not a thing where it's like she want a lot of head-on stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then okay, so Tony Stark and Thor are your flyers, and I'm like, okay, they kind of got different flying styles, but it's similar at that. Basically, you know, and then same thing with Thor and Captain America. We can both throw the hammer, throw the shield, and it kind of comes back. And then when I'm sitting there playing a very simple, underrated Nintendo Switch game called Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, mm-hmm. I'm like, these characters got so much individual things to them that goes with their character. It makes them different, which helps build the team chemistry different.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt as though that this game, with a bigger budget, with bigger graphics, you know, just bigger everything that Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 did, I felt as though they could have did it better, which, in my opinion, I think Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 did it better when it comes to making the characters more individual
mm-hmm.
than this game did.
Okay.
Because a lot of times, to me, a lot of things just felt as very simple, generic, you know, square, and a triangle for the strong thing. I think the one that was the most kind of like versatile to the point where it's like, okay, I got different things for different things is Black Widow.
Right. Now, I do agree on that. Now, I understand like the basics. You got your square, like light attack, heavy attack, throwing, your specials. I was talking more like when you start to level them up and you can do different types of moves. They felt completely different. Because I maxed out Captain America. I'm almost maxed out Iron Man. I started maxing out Black Widow. And then like with Iron Man, you get to you have your regular repulsor beams, but you can also have your like lasers and
Mm-hmm.
the what's it call it? You can also have rockets, so you can interchange them. Whereas Captain America, you just have the shield, and you have to use that shield. Where you can you can literally customize a different playstyle with Iron Man than you can with Captain America. That's what I mean by they play different. When you start to
Fair.
level them up more, you get to play different, and I did appreciate that the game did that.
Mm-hmm.
The upgrade system I hate. It's too much like Destiny. Okay, well, a lot of this game is too much like Destiny. Um, and I have a love hate relationship with Destiny. So
Mm-hmm.
it this why it kind of put me in a bad state that the story mode was so short that you want to focus on multiplayer so much. So with multiplayer, you're literally just running around the map, fighting robots, get to a checkpoint, fight another robot, get to a checkpoint, and then that's it. Which
Uh-huh.
is expected from that's pretty much a looter game. That's basically what you do. But I feel like more. I like the story, like the villain type missions better. Like the one we did where we was in the forest and we fought that giant robot at the end.
Yeah.
I like that. Another villain type of game I played. I'm sorry, villain mission I did was where we had to fight Taskmaster at the end. Personally, I thought that was a mess. Strictly because it's literally four people just swinging at Taskmaster. And then he just gets an
Mm-hmm.
unblockable move, summon some robots, and then you just keep on going. I was like, okay, there's not too much variety here. And I'm kind of nervous that missions are going to continuously be like this, where it's going to get old quick.
Yeah.
And that's what got me tired of Destiny. So I'm not looking too forward to that. The Another thing, the game is extremely grindy. You
It
literally,
is.
it is
It
so,
is.
and it takes too long to like level up and stuff. Too long to level up naturally. Now you could boost your items. You could buy more items for yourself. Which honestly, I feel like this is a dumb thing for each character. I feel like this should only be for Iron Man because Iron Man, it makes sense for Iron Man to like upgrade his tech and all that. But
Yeah.
why am I upgrading Miss Marvel's bracelets? It's that's dumb, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
And when it comes to like what was I say? Like the update, first of all, it costs so much. It costs so much because I'm just like I ain't got no coins to buy any of this stuff,
hmm
and I'm like, and I feel it's like okay, well, I guess I got to do side missions to earn it, but what it's telling me, I should just focus on the main table. I mean, the main story.
Right.
So it doesn't do good. It's kind of like the way Spider-Man did it or the way Batman did it
hmm
to the point where it's like we can't go on until you do so many side missions. I thought that'd be a good way because that can help you indirectly earn points. But if it's telling you to keep on going with the campaign, you can't earn no points to get no money. I mean, to
Right.
get anything.
Right. And that was my problem. Like towards the end of the story, it like forces you, okay, do side missions. It was like this is an odd spot to put it. Like you do this
Mm-hmm.
right before the climax of the game. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I had something to say about. Uh, one of the best parts of the story, in my opinion, was when you have all the Avengers together, and so you're switching in between each Avenger for a
Mm-hmm.
different type of playstyle. I personally like that, and we didn't get that throughout the full game, which I was slightly disappointed in. I wish
Mm.
we had that. Back onto the combat. This, I do have fun playing this game. However, the glitches are so bad that it is unbearable. There's times where a game glitched so hard where I wasn't even able to continue the mission or finish the mission. I know we had that problem when we played the beta. That did not
Mm.
get fixed whatsoever. When there's way too many characters on the screen, it is hard to see.
It is,
It is super hard
and
to see.
fighting these robots and these glares and these brightnesses of
Yep.
all that bothers me too.
And com it's it's fun when I pull off a great combo with Captain America or Black Widow, but
Mhm.
the combos you can pull off are so elaborate, and then you get a robot trying to hit you while you're in the middle of it, and it like throws the whole pacing off where you gotta dodge and then you gotta start the combo over. Where I feel like with Spider-Man it was like a chain linked, or Arkham it was a chain linked where you could like keep going. It was a nice flow to it. Whereas this doesn't really have a flow.
Mhm.
Yeah, the glitches are unbearable. There was times where Thor was just like stuck on screen and just like is he doing anything? And like his attacks were hitting people, but he was literally just standing there. There's times where I hit people and they like I would hit people back and for some reason they would fly forward. And I was like bugs like this should not be in a in a AAA game that took this long to make. And it's just like, what is going on? Like, how do I know you guys see this? I know you guys see this. This is horrible. Like I said, the game is extremely grindy. There's way too many glitches. Yeah. I'm pretty much finished what I say about this game. I don't know if you had. Oh, microtransactions. That's a bitch. Y'all straight up lied
Yep.
to us and said there was going to be no microtransactions. So the base, like, so some of the, okay, this is another problem I have with a superhero game with Spider-Man. One of the best things about that game was the variety of suits you have. So many suits you
And
can
how you can
choose.
earn them.
Yeah, exactly. This one literally has some of the worst suits I ever seen for characters, and you have 6 superheroes in the game, which is like, how did y'all miss the mark on that?
Like,
This is
because
the
what I
easiest
want to
market.
get is I want to get Grey Hawk in a white beater and some suit pants.
No, but he got a whole. Yeah, he looks like he should be drinking a Corona with Vin Diesel.
It's
He looks like a Dominican dad, and I'm like, what? What storyline was this from? Please, like, give us some like. At least with Spider-Man, you had the suit, and then you had the history with the suit. With this one, you're literally just here. Here's a cool looking suit, and I'm like, this is not interesting. Y'all, they dropped the ball on that. Microtransactions, y'all. From what I remember, I was told at E3 there will be no microtransactions in this game, but I'm assuming that there's too much money to miss out on for not doing microtransactions. That they made this game so grindy to force you to buy microtransactions, and I'm like, I refuse to buy any of it. So certain costumes were like 20,000 credits. I'm gonna tell you how much 500 credits cost. $5. 5,000 credits was $49.99, and I was like, y'all are kidding me.
that makes
Y'all are kidding
bro.
me.
Just for 10,000 credits, it's $100.
I'm like,
I'm like,
y'all,
why?
no, y'all are insane. I'm not paying all this for a average suit. For an average suit, I'm like, y'all gotta be kidding me. This is, you have anything to say? Because I'm about to get into my verdict for it.
I really do hope that the updates will help make the game better with the DLC. Like, usually, because when you do DLC, you gotta get some gaming updates also. You know, so I hope that so some of the problems that the early things that they do fix with this game, especially with it being delayed, because it's supposed to come out in March, in May. Excuse me, it's supposed to come out in May, and it didn't. So, I kind of hope that they fix some of these problems with it. I know everybody wanted this to be the Batman or the Spider-Man killer, and it's not.
It's not at all.
It's not at all. Like, let them pipe dreams go. Okay.
I knew Gotham Knights was going to be way better than this when I saw the trailer for it.
But Gotham Knights takes its time.
Yeah.
And Gotham and the Batman stuff, the Arkham stuff started all this.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? So they know how to perfect this type of thing. And I just felt as though that the game just, when you're talking about Avengers And once again, y'all try to stick into that MCU Avengers. I'm like, when you talk about a game like this, there's so many things you can do. I'm surprised that the only classic suit I saw was Tony,
Yep.
and maybe Thor if you want to
Yeah, I
add
was
to the
going to
helmet. I'm
say
like,
Thor too. That was the only like classic suits I saw.
I was like, there's Captain America, there's Black Widow, there's classic bright gray Hulk, there's Green Hulk. I'm like, but yeah, the suit sucked. The microtransactions, once again, I knew was going to happen anyway. I'm used to them, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm used to a good amount. Okay, it's just like, look, if I'm going to pay $100, I get 450 VC on 2K.
Mm-hmm.
For the 450,000 VC on 2K, if I pay $100,
And I'm sure that's a
if
lot
I,
in the game.
it's a lot in the game. I know you don't play 2K, so I'm
Right,
trying to
yeah.
explain it to you.
Oh, yeah, no,
Yeah,
yeah.
VC is what you use in the my team to get card packs to get certain players,
Right.
contracts, shoes, and all the other kind of stuff like that you need to boost your player up,
Mm-hmm.
and you get players. And okay, so the packs be ranging from anywhere from between 7,000 VC to 6,000 VC, sometimes 15,000 VC. If you want a 20 pack or a 10 pack, they can go anywhere between 100 VC to 135 VC. So with that being, and if you want like a 10 pack, it's like 67,000 VC. So if I'm buying $100 of VC in 2K, that's 450,000 VC. If I buy $50 worth of VC, that is 200,000 VC. If I buy just $20, that's 75,000 VC.
It
And
balances
if
out.
I,
You're getting your
what you
money's
say?
worth. You're getting your money's worth.
It's like if you're going to put microtransactions in a game, you at least, even though people don't agree with them, and I don't agree with them neither, because this is another way to take the money because you can't earn it in game.
Right.
I do believe that there has to be another way to at least make it worth it. That somebody's going to pay for this $100.
Right.
You know, so make it worth it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Say they would with Mortal Kombat 11, they don't do microtransactions like that much, but it's like, okay, if you want some source crystals, you pay me $39.99. I'll give you 5,600 source crystals.
Mm-hmm.
And next thing you know, you got almost everything you want and still got about 1,500 left over.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But this one, I'm like, God, $100 for 10,000, where I'm looking at suits that cost 1,400.
Mm-hmm.
So once I buy a suit for everybody that's on the team, I'm out. So yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna just go ahead with my verdict. It's a fun game. I am having fun playing it. However, I feel like it's so repetitive to an unrewarding gift towards the end. And I'm gonna still play it, but with that, the story, as much as you had to grind, the microtransactions, the batshit crazy glitches, this gets a catch it at the barbershop.
I may give it a hashtag, give it a chance.
I would like to give it a hashtag, give it a chance, but I would want someone to wait till DLC comes out. I wouldn't want someone to pay $60 for this right now.
Fair. I do think that this is a game that was trying to sell off the fact that it's an MCU Marvel game.
Absolutely, and yeah, that's what I noticed about this game. There's a lot of MCU, like with the moves that they show for each character. There's a lot of MCU references. This game was made for the MCU fans, whereas Ultimate Alliance 3 was made for the Marvel fans.
Yeah, I'm about to say, because in my personal opinion, whether people agree with me or not, I think Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 is a better game.
Yeah, it's a better game. Marvel Alliance 3 is a better game. And it does a lot. It does a lot more with a lot less.
Exactly. Like I said, it's a Switch exclusive. So if you got a Switch and you've been hearing about it, it's an underrated game, but it's a rare game because people keep buying it on the low. Like GameStop is still giving you $33 for that game if you turn it in.
Dang.
You know what I'm saying?
That's rare. That meat
Yeah,
is
so
rare.
it's still going to give you $33 if you turn the game in. So
Mm.
I recommend, like, if you want to play a Marvel game, for if you're a Marvel fan, a comic book fan, or you into these kind of games where you can, like, a team up concept things. I personally recommend Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. Does it have like the comic book colory, oh, like imagery, some of that? Yeah, of course it does. It's Nintendo, but however, when it comes to gameplay, when it comes to anything else, the characters, unlocking stuff, I think it's a completely better game with completely better DLC than Marvel's Avengers is, in my opinion.
Right, right. I 100% agree. Um, I'm not gonna. I don't want to say I'm disappointed because I wasn't really expecting much from this game to begin with. But from what I got, I was like, yeah, this would have this would have benefited if they just waited and put it out for the PS5. If they waited, gave it a lot more polish, I would say more story content, and put it out for the PS5, it would have benefited hugely for that.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one too, and it's believe it or not, it's still coming out for the PS5 too.
Yeah, yeah. If you have the PS4 copy, you just transfer it to the PS5 for free.
Oh, really?
I don't know if everything will follow. I really hope so because I'm not
I
grinding.
mean,
I
why
do
why
not.
do that again?
I don't want to grind again in this game. And the only story mission I want to play in this game is that last level because I have fun with that the most. Other than that, I don't really see myself going through the story again.
I agree.
But yeah, that was our review for Marvel's Avengers. Let us know what you think in the comment section below. If you played the game, if you're looking forward to the game, if you haven't played the game and you have any questions, definitely put that in the comments below, and we'll give you our opinions about it.